That's where all this wanting equality comes from this thing. Women are equal with other women. They cannot be equal with men. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I recommend you grab something to drink because this is going to be a long one. I recently got an email with the subject, My Experience as a Male in Occupational Therapy. I really appreciate your content and it's being a great support for me during a period where I feel very boxed out in my area of work or the area that I hope to work in the future. I understand if you're too busy to read this, but it's about my experience of being a male in a profession where females account for 91% of the profession. So obviously I believe this needs to be said, but if they find out I have spoken up, they will ruin me worse than they already have. I wanted to send you this so you have an inside perspective of what some men experience in some female-dominated professions. So thank you for that. I am a male occupational therapy student and I can honestly say the year I spent studying OT was the worst year of my life. Not because of the work or the profession, but because of the viciousness of the people in it. There were only 3 men in the class of 37, and myself and the other male were constantly being scrutinized and gossiped about. I think it's called relational aggression. We were always being left out of group work and being complained about for not contributing even when they bluntly excluded us. Within the first month, I learned my contribution wasn't wanted, so I stopped trying and began to lose some passion. Any men's issues brought up in class, such as depression, suicide, work-related deaths, were minimized in favor of women's issues. I can empathize with that. I mean, I'm guilty of that myself. I tend to turn everything and anything about me and the way how I feel, regardless of what group I am. It could be women or men. Especially when I interact with men, I feel I am more entitled to be looked after and that my discomfort and my pain is more important. So this is also an automatic response we have to the world. It's not conscious. I feel really bad after I become aware of the fact that I focused again too much on my feelings and the way the world feels to me. Basically, we need more protection in order to be able to take care of infants. Obviously, this is not to take out of the responsibility myself or other women because we are not paying attention to males' emotions and experience of life. Perhaps you're already aware of this, but for some of you that are not aware of this, this is one of the reasons why women are really self-focused. Right. One day, a guest lecturer was brought in who made a joke about a real client she had who was an alcoholic. Yeah, so the client was an alcoholic man who died, basically. The punchline was that his death was great news because now his wife doesn't have to deal with his pain anymore. The whole class, apart from the 3 men, was laughing at the death of a broken man. These are supposed to be future occupational therapists. Yes, this is really silly. Women do not celebrate the death of a man unless they're psychopaths. This is just silly behavior because women don't tend to have a hierarchy. They don't follow someone. So what I see happens, because women want equality in their group, they don't follow a leader. They don't have a leader. So what happens, there's no leader, and everyone they follow each other like sheep. You know, what one does, everyone does, without any sense of thinking, or they're just reactive silliness. Girls, I don't know if I made myself clear, but you get the point. Anyway, so they just put him down for that. Obviously, to die because you were an alcoholic, it is a tragic thing, but also that doesn't take him out of the responsibility that he had to take care of his health. So they turn all that, because he's being flawed, they turn it like, oh, I'm glad he's dead because his wife doesn't have to deal with him anymore. But at the same time, they want to be the ones you are going to them when you have emotional pain, and they are claiming they're compassionate when they are not. In addition to this, the other male on the course made the mistake of confiding in one of the girls in the class about his personal issues, severe suicidal ideation, and they immediately spread it around to everyone, using his issues as a social currency to click with the other girls in the class, going as far as to degrade him for it. This man is currently married to a registered occupational therapist who mentally abuses him. It really makes me question if there is a culture of hostility towards men in this profession. I can't comment about the profession. However, like you already observed yourself, first of all, do not confide in women. Unfortunately, especially when they're in a part of a large group and you're with them in the same group. Don't do that. Don't get involved with a group of women. I know for some men this is can be heavens to be surrounded of a lot of women.
We've been waiting for you all summer and we're so glad you're finally here.
It's not evolutionary or psychologically recommended. And we see this because, of course, everyone will know, because women spend their time together at home, in the caves or wherever, and men went out to hunt. And obviously, what do you do as a woman? You had to interact with each other at all times, and every woman had to know what was happening, and they had to know everything in order to survive. And I think that's why women don't have hierarchy either, because imagine living 10, 20, 50, 100 women in a group on their own and having started to have hierarchies. By the time men would have gone back from hunting, you would have found the women killed, because they would have killed each other. The way a woman reacts, having hierarchies in a group, I think that wouldn't have worked. And I think that's where all this wanting equality comes from this thing. Women are equal with other women. They cannot be equal with men for obvious reasons. So that's why these women cannot keep a secret. It's like I said, it's most of the time it's being done unconscious. Obviously, I'm not taking out of the responsibility, and obviously you shouldn't use that information to degrade the guy for it. That's going to bullying. That's going to yet another level. That's being mean. And again, I don't think they're all mean. I don't think all 34 women in your group are all mean or, something wrong with them. One or two of them, they might be psychopaths, or they might have experienced some sort of trauma or whatever happened. Hence, that's why they're in the profession as well. And they're manipulating each other, turning the other women against this guy. My peers also felt that it was appropriate to belittle me as though I were cattle right in front of my face. This was the most dehumanizing experience of my life. Had being a male that did this, my reaction would have been very different. My class representative also declared that all men were trash in front of me, and 15 of the girls in my class. The others praised her, and I'm ashamed to say I stay silent. Another joke they used to recycle was that the only use for a man was to change a light bulb. Right, precisely what all these women are asking for. They're not doing it. So please record them. And if you can, just make it public. Don't be ashamed that you stay silent. I realize that if it was a man, you would have been more confrontational. It's not shameful that you shut your voice. I thought that was smart, because that was really grown up of you to mention that I deal different with men and I deal different with women. That's really good self-awareness and self-control. And like I said, you haven't gone with your reactivity, even though you perhaps felt to confront them. I think it's good to have a cold head after that interaction. Perhaps you had to thinking and rethinking what you could have done better and how could you stand up for yourself, basically. I know it might be not come natural to you, but what I would do, how about record them? Play the part of being nice and yes, whatever, and have proof. That's really important. I think what men could do nowadays, when women are doing this, instead of reacting to them, have proof. Go right at the top with this proof. Go, and usually you're going to find that right at the top of any university or of anything, you're going to find a male. Surprise, surprise. So get proof and get in touch with me, because I can give you some tips. And another joke, and the thing with the men are only good to change a light bulb, I wouldn't even take that seriously. sometimes what is wrong with these women and with feminists in general, we should not explain things to them. I think we are the silly ones. Why would you start to explain things to a person that doesn't make any sense? They're not going to make any sense anyway. You think they don't know that? They know it. They just... So don't worry about the light children bulb, whatever. Out in the actual workplace where I carry out my practice placements, both of my placements were with female practice educators who clearly wanted to exert their power over me to engineer fear. The first practice educator reminded me of how I was a minority in the profession and that she had never met a male OT. She constantly made claims about how the men she worked with were incompetent and had a printout that said it's easier to build strong children than fix broken men. Like again, hypocrisy, it's at home, because it's easier to build strong humans than fix broken adults, you know. So anyway, and unfortunately it goes on and on and on about the attractive behavior of these women. It's too much for me to keep reading, so in order to keep this video short, I'm just gonna screenshot this email and feel free to pause it and read it for yourself. In the end, you have the power over your own life. Like I said, when toxic masculinity used to be how toxic femininity is today, some women still managed to thrive, basically. I don't know how they did it. That's really admirable. The same how men are admirable today, that they manage to get out of this women nonsense, the femininity nonsense. So what I could say is that you are human and you are adaptable and you are stronger than you think. And even it seems that the whole world turns against you, and perhaps that might be true at times, you just have to find your faith in the universe, because in the end, for some weird reason, the universe has allowed us to have our way, both genders, and you are adaptable, so you're gonna adapt in any situation. I mean, our ancestors, your ancestor, all those men have fought with mammoths, you know, they have fought with the tiger, tooth tiger, or whatever he's called. You know, imagine that. What happens today is just that today you have to fight socially. You have to be stronger socially and emotionally, because thank God the environment doesn't kill us anymore. So invest in yourself, become the person you want to become. This is your challenge. To don't take them personally, even if it's difficult. They don't know you, so they can't just throw stuff at you if they don't know you. You can't tell a person you're never going to be an OT because you don't know him. You don't know your limits, never mind another person. So don't listen to that. Don't take them personally. People usually take about themselves. Imagine a woman is like a sulking 5-year-old that hasn't had a nap and is just on the floor, you know, tapping her legs, her feet on the floor, that, I want my way. This is how women behave. Don't take them seriously. I don't know. I think there must be a way. There's always a way. I think there's always a way. You just have to find it. Believe in yourself. And thank you so much for messaging me. I hope I added ever slightly of value to you. Bring up proof and send them to me, and I'm gonna make them public. I don't know, anything. There's a solution, I'm sure for that. Anyway, I think I repeated that too many times. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your messages again. It's so humbling to find your messages and tell me that this was so good and I made your day a little bit better and keep going and all that stuff. That helps me so much. If you have any ideas you'd like me to comment on, or you have your messages and you want them to be heard, just feel free to message me or email me or whatever it's easier for you, and I'll do my best to talk about it and cover it up. Until next time, bye.